Thursday, June 6th, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 2019. Guys, in this video, I've got several interesting pictures and new videos that have been sent in. One in particular from Mississippi that I think you guys will really enjoy. And not only did it show up in the video, but the person observed this very weird anomaly with her own two eyes, which we're going to take a look at here in just a moment. But first, we're going to start up here in the International Space Station. Where we're looking at is over Southern California, or actually the west coast of the United States, out over the Pacific. There's been a lot of activity in the Southern California area here recently with regard to earthquake swarms on land and offshore under the sea. Something very strange showed up on radar I want to share with you guys headed towards San Diego from the East Los Angeles area. There was a big wind disturbance that was observed in this photograph here. At first he didn't know what it was. He just noticed a void in the photograph of no clouds, and that's not necessarily all that uncommon to see an area where there's no clouds, right? But he knew where he was looking. He was looking along the west coast of the United States. And in fact, this is from June 4th, and sure enough, on June 4th, I did confirm what the man saw. That was David from Victoria, Australia. There was a big void out off the west coast of the United States, and there's that line of clouds that he saw in the still image that he took from the live stream of the International Space Station. There's that line of clouds right there above the Pacific Ocean, and there it is on Zoom Earth. Zoom Earth is an archive of satellite images from all around the world. I went back to June 4th and did confirm. It looks like some sort of a wind disturbance that started on June the 3rd, and you can see the wind came down from the north all down the west coast of the United States. That covers a very large area, and you can indeed see an absence of clouds. Step it up to June 4th, and you can see it makes a turn to the west and heads out towards the Central Pacific. And that's what he saw right there from the International Space Station. So, cool observation by David from Victoria, Australia. Another very unusual observation. This was from the National Weather Service out of San Diego. And this is the local radar, once again, down here in the Southern California area. That's this arrow I've got right here. These other two arrows are earthquake swarms that we're going to get to next. But this plume that you see, normally when you see something like this on a radar, that is generally a cloud filled with moisture or rain. That's not the case here because there was no rain at the time this was noticed over Southern California. And if I'm not mistaken, this too was back on June the 4th when there was a big absence of clouds off the west coast of the United States. All right, and this is also all during these earthquake swarms that are occurring right out here off of San Clemente Island and inland near Glen Avon, California. But that cloud you see right there, that greenish cloud, it looks like a cloud, that is supposedly a cloud of ladybugs, not a cloud of moisture. The large echo showing up on Southern Cal radar this evening, that's June the 4th, is not precipitation, but actually a cloud of ladybugs. That is huge. That would take billions and billions of ladybugs, because they're pretty small, to make up that big of a cloud to show up on a radar like that. Unbelievable. But nevertheless, that's what we're going with. A huge cloud of ladybugs discovered on radar in Southern California back on June the 4th, just a couple of days ago, 2019. Incredible. Much like the earthquake swarm that's underway in Southern California right now as I do this video. Southern Californians are no strangers to earthquakes, as they're just part of their day-to-day life. If you look at a map here I've got of all the fault zones in Southern California, you can see why there's earthquakes constantly in Southern California. And I mean literally, there's an earthquake about every 5 or 10 minutes of some magnitude. Here recently, though, when there's swarms like this, especially when the swarms are not on fault zones, it's a little unusual. And the swarms that are currently underway right now, from what I understand, are not on fault zones. This one here, where there's over 400, probably well over 500 now, this inland swarm, which is right over here. Here's the offshore swarm by San Clemente Island. There's not near as many offshore as there are onshore. But if we go to the onshore swarm right here, you can see there's well over 400. In fact, the quakes are just piled on top of each other, literally. And there's the area where there's over 400, probably in the neighborhood of over 500 earthquakes, all small at this point, and hopefully they'll stay that way. And like I mentioned earlier, California's no stranger to earthquakes. They happen all the time, but swarms are kind of rare, and especially when they are not on fault zones, that makes them even more unique. So a lot going on in Southern California. That's why I put together this map of the big wind plume that came down the west coast. Took 2 days to travel down the coast before it went out into the Central Pacific. Strange radar return near San Diego, quake swarm on land, and a quake swarm offshore. So a lot going on in the Southern California area. Major dust storm blankets Lubbock, Texas. Article dated June 5th, 2019 from KFOX 14. I've also got some pictures that were sent in by Johnny O from Lubbock, Texas, June 5th, 2019. That's the same storm, the same dust storm that went through Lubbock. That looks exactly like a dust storm that we would see out here in the Phoenix, Arizona area. That's at least a couple of thousand feet tall, if not taller, and several miles in length. Just got those photos today from Johnny O out of Lubbock, Texas. Massive dust storm went through the area, and they just had a series of thunderstorms, hail, lightning, tornadoes go through the Texas Panhandle and the west central Texas area. But apparently this wind was strong enough to stir up the dust, creating a monstrous dust storm. That's something you would see out here in the Phoenix, Arizona area. I was actually over here at Zoom Earth originally looking for wildfire smoke coming out of Alberta, Canada, as 11,000 people now have been forced to evacuate as firefighters battle a huge blaze up in the Alberta, Canada area. Right now, from what I understand, this has consumed over 700,000 acres. Article dated here June 4th, 2019 from krtv.com. As most of you well know, the wildfires have been burning up there for several days. There were at one time 21 different wildfires burning in the Alberta area. Pretty incredible, 700,000 acres and 11,000 people forced to evacuate. The smoke has been visible from this wildfire or these wildfires all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. Great Lakes experiencing record high water levels. Article dated June 3rd, 2019. Lake Huron plus 32 inches for the year, or actually for the month of May. Lake Superior plus 18. Lake Ontario plus 34. Lake Erie and Lake Michigan plus 32. If you look at the river gauges all the way up and down the Mississippi River, most of the river gauges are in some degree of flood stage, extending for hundreds of linear miles. So it's going to be a long spring. It's going to be a while before this water gets completely drained out of the watershed, and farmers are slowly but surely trying to get their crops in the fields as the water is draining. We're keeping an eye on the water over here at Lake Oroville as they're slowly but surely releasing water from the reservoir. I've noticed the spillway today is completely saturated. The last week we've been watching the spillway. It was just wet on the right-hand side, and now you can see it's wet from side to side, so they are releasing more water, and we've been watching the numbers, and they have been monitoring the water levels and fluctuating or releasing water literally by the hundredths of an inch. I mean, it's incredible to watch how they're managing this water, and they're doing a phenomenal job. It got up to 894, I want to say 0.6 or 0.7, and they've released water now, like I said, by the hundredths of an inch. It's gone down to 894.23. If it gets up to 900, that's at the very top of the reservoir. They don't want it to get that high, so they started releasing water here just a few days ago, and you can see at the dam or at the spillway, the water is coming down the spillway. They have started releasing water slowly but surely. I've also got some videos of some double-decker rainbows that have been sent in. I think these are just the coolest things because I don't remember seeing these when I was a kid growing up, and we played outside all the time. This is one sent in from Maine.
Full rainbow, one end to the other. It is just gorgeous. I don't think I've ever seen something like this.
She said she didn't think she'd ever seen anything like that. That video was sent in by Bob. Video was taken by Kristen from coastal Maine. Picture here sent in by Michael from Australia of yet another very vivid double rainbow. And like I said, growing up as a kid, we played outside all the time. We weren't inside playing video games or on computers. We were outside. And I don't remember ever seeing double rainbows. Michelle from Spokane, Washington. And all the ones you see here are from within the last 2 or 3 days. Double rainbow here from Dublin, sent in by Haley Higgins, taken by her brother, Owen Higgins. Look at that one. Just a spectacular sight. And I haven't seen complete double rainbows like you're seeing here. I've seen segments of them just here recently within the last 2 or 3 years. But I haven't seen any like those. Karen from Texas sent in, this isn't a double, but it's a single rainbow that just happened to go through the field of view of the full moon or near full moon. Really neat photograph. And then I want to finish up this video with a video out of Mississippi. And this was taken by Amber. And the sky literally changed color right before her very eyes, her and her daughter. Check this out. Look. See how she stops the camera? It says, wow. Her and her daughter saw that. I want to play it one more time. The sky changed color in a matter of seconds. And this is from Mississippi, June 5th. Look at that. See how she froze, stopped the camera? So it was not a camera anomaly from moving the camera. In fact, I've seen dozens and dozens of videos of the sky, of stormy skies with, gray clouds like you're seeing here, and the camera moving around and the color stays the same. But the color, for some reason, this time changed in just a matter of seconds as she was watching it. And she did tell me she saw it. See how she stopped right there? Wow. And she says, wow. I think I would have too. So great observation, Amber. Thanks for sharing. I want to thank everybody for sharing your pictures and videos. Don't forget to check out the website, linked below in the description box, MrMBB333.com. All the data you see here is real-time data, updated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got the Sky Phenomena photo gallery here, updated every day with new photos sent in by you guys. 2 reports at MrMBB333.com. Don't forget to check out the daily report up here at the top. That's the newsroom, updated with new news stories at least once a day, sometimes multiple times a day. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a super day and be safe out there.